picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving my
I let it fall, my heart, and as it fell, you rose to claim it. But there's a side to you that I never knew. All the things you say, they were never true. And the games you play, you would always win. But I set fire to the rain, watch it pour as I touched your face. When it burned.
My name is Carrie, and I go to Brown University. Brown has an important role to play as a leader in the community, both globally and locally. With this in mind, I wanted to find out more about stormwater in Providence, its impacts on the people and on Narragansett Bay, and what Brown is doing about it. So let's get some context. This map of New England is a satellite image showing urbanized areas in gray and more rural areas in green. As you can see, Brown is located in the middle of a gray region. Actually, Rhode Island is one of the most urbanized states in the country, with 23.3% of its land area covered with cities. So that means we have to be very careful how we deal with stormwater, because without proper management, the runoff from the streets drains directly into the Narragansett Bay. Polluted runoff comes from parking lots, streets, highways, lawns, and farms, and can include animal waste, oil, grease, gasoline, fertilizer, garbage, sand, and sewage pollution from cesspools and combined sewer systems. When this gets into the bay, it can lead to a nutrient overload of nitrogen and phosphorus, which causes oxygen levels to drop, harming fish and wildlife populations. An excellent example of stormwater's impacts on communities can be found at Mashapog Pond, Providence's largest natural freshwater pond and the site of the former Gorham Silver Manufacturing Company. The industrial legacy means that the pond is contaminated with heavy metals, a problem that, while not a direct result of stormwater pollution, is certainly exacerbated by it. This parking lot adjacent to the pond was originally built to accommodate the traffic needs of a new commercial development. When the development failed, the parking lot was left unused, a huge swath of impervious pavement draining into Mashapog Pond. Narragansett Bay is a huge source of income for many Rhode Islanders in areas like shellfish and tourism. Stormwater runoff puts the health of the bay at risk, leading to shellfish and beach closures that hurt the local economy. Flooding is another concern for residents, causing chaos, property damage, and putting people at risk.
Now warning lights are flashing down the quality control. Somebody threw a spanner, they threw him in the hole. There's rumors in the Logan Bay and anger in the town. Somebody blew the whistle and the walls came down. There's a meeting in the boardroom, they're trying to trace the smell. There's a leaking in the washroom, there's a sneaking personnel. Somewhere in the corridor, someone was heard to sneeze. Goodness me, could this be industrial disease? Caretaker was crucified and sleeping in his post, refusing to be pacified. It's him they blame the most. Watchdog or rabies, the foreman got a falaise. Everyone concerned about industrial disease. There's panic on the switchboard, tongues and knots. Some come out in sympathy, some come out in spots. Some blame the management, some the employees. Everybody knows it's the industrial disease.
Providence recognizes the need to address stormwater concerns, but individual municipalities often lack the resources to deal with something that extends across political boundaries. This makes a regional approach to stormwater management a viable solution. On June 20th, 2014, the final report of a feasibility study for an Upper Narragansett Bay regional stormwater utility was published, representing the first phase of a three-phase project. The report suggests dividing stormwater responsibilities among three entities: the new regional utility, municipalities, and the Narragansett Bay Commission. The Narragansett Bay Commission is the group that manages the wastewater treatment facility at Fields Point. In 2008, they completed the construction of the Combined Sewer Overflow Project, a deep rock tunnel that captures sewage overflow in the event of up to a 3-month storm, and transports it to Fields Point rather than allowing it to flow into the bay. Meanwhile, the new regional utility would be responsible for water quality programs, municipal separate storm sewer collection systems, local flooding, streams and floodplain management, and program administration. This means that all municipalities have to do is review stormwater development within their respective jurisdiction. Currently, money for stormwater management is taken from the general fund, or this means that stormwater management has to compete with everything else in a city's budget. As a result, annual stormwater expenditures for the region are extremely low, at $3.8 million. Future needs are estimated to reach $7.8 to $11 million each year. To solve this, the report proposes a fee for stormwater services provided by the regional utility. The structure is simple. The more paved areas your property has, the more you pay. One of the best ways to reduce impervious pavement is increasing green space, especially tree planting. In addition to stormwater reduction through root uptake of water, trees also prevent soil erosion, capture air and water pollutants, increase property values and biodiversity, and moderate temperatures. The abundance of dark-colored asphalt in Providence contributes to the urban heat island effect, in which developed areas are hotter than non-developed ones. Trees can significantly mitigate this effect. A case study done by a Brown Environmental Studies class in 2010 found that a 25-foot tree can reduce heating and cooling costs for a typical residence by 8 to 10% or $10 to $25 per month. However, access to green space is unevenly distributed across the city. Low-income areas face inadequate funding and logistical barriers to obtaining trees. High-tenant, low-income areas experience obstacles not shared by owner-occupied areas. Tenants don't have any incentive to make long-term investments like trees, as the resulting higher property values can result in rent increases. An overnight parking ban dating back to 1935, together with a zoning ordinance mandating a minimum 1.5 parking spaces per residence, forces landlords to pave the front, side, and backyards of their building to provide tenants with parking spots. This further contributes to the abundance of impervious pavement in Providence. In response to the growing concern over stormwater and the possible imposition of a stormwater fee, Providence residents are already making small-scale changes, like this pervious driveway in the community around Moshapog Pond. At J.T. Owens Field, which also drains into Moshapog Pond, a rain garden uses depression, stones, and native plants to help with the stormwater.
The future isn't what it used to be.
Brown is also beginning to look at stormwater management. There's a green roof on top of the Granoff Arts building. The bamboo garden behind the Watson Institute is watered by a rain catchment system underground that diverts the rainwater to be used by plants. The Burt building uses a gray water system to flush its toilets. It captures rainwater from the roof and treats it in an in-house facility. John King, one of Brown's engineers, showed me around the facility and explained a bit about how it works.
I'm so into this UV light idea of this.
Yeah, this is becoming more, they use this in swimming pools too.
So like rather than chemicals,
Right.
it's using...
It reduces the amount of chemicals you have to use and sometimes eliminates them because it basically sterilizes gets rid of it destroys the bacteria.
And so this is a way of you said actively capturing water. You're keeping it from contributing to stormwater
Yes.
by capturing what's coming off the roof.
Yeah.
And you're reusing it in the system, but only for toilets.
Right. Now you can store water and use it for irrigation. But the problem
Like
with that is after it rains, you don't need to irrigate it, and you can't keep water for long periods of time in
Yeah.
the cisterns. You have to get rid of it, otherwise, it's bad. So that's the dilemma with saving water,
Yeah.
because when you
Like a
need
rain
it,
barrel type thing.
if you can keep it long enough, and use it, but oftentimes, when you need it and when it's raining is at the same time.
There are certainly logistical challenges in implementing further stormwater infrastructure at Brown, but considering the economic implications of a stormwater fee on such a large institution, Brown needs to be doing more. Data collection on Brown's current infrastructure is underway, so hopefully we'll start to see rain gardens and rain barrels popping up around campus in the next few years.
So much to